Hi again, everyone. Gary Digital Williams here on Boxing Along the Beltway. Our news and notes for this week. And, of course, Beltway Boxing News and Notes on the Boxing Along the Beltway Google app for Android, as well as on YouTube and iHeartRadio.com. It's brought to you by Real-Time Pain Relief. From boxers to ballerinas, from shoulder pain to muscle strain, everything else in between. Boxing Along the Beltway recommends Real-Time Pain Relief, the natural, plant-based, safe, fast, and effective ointment. You rub it on, the pain is gone in real time. And don't forget, if you go on to www.freepainoffer.com and make a purchase of $15 or more of Real-Time Pain Relief, you can text free offer to 90407. That's free offer to 90407, and you receive a free $10 tube of Real-Time Pain Relief. That's Real-Time Pain Relief. Rub it on, the pain is gone in real time. And thanks for joining us, everybody. Of course, for this week, and we have a interesting week coming up, and we had some interesting results that took place this past weekend all around the country. A number of Beltway boxers were in action, both on the East and the West Coast. Let's start on Friday night, August the 5th, where Baltimore, Maryland welterweight Malik Iceman Hawkins won a 4-round unanimous decision over a guy that was extremely awkward in Sean G. out of Portland, Oregon. That took place at the Pechanga Resort and Casino in Temecula, California. That bout was shown on the CBS Sports Network. And Hawkins was pretty dominant in the bout. I mean, he used his body shots and he kept G off as best he could and did pretty well. G had very little offense. He was very wild, very awkward, throwing a lot of looping shots, and Hawkins ended up shutting out G 40-36 across the board among the three judges. And in reality, it was a good bout for Malik in the sense that he got a guy that wasn't going to be afraid of him and wasn't, if he got hit, was not going to take a step back. And G didn't take a step back because, again, Hawkins was hitting him with some solid body shots at times, but G was going nowhere. G was making the transition has been making the transition from MMA to boxing, and he is, he was wild, he was awkward, and Hawkins stayed cool, stayed to the game plan as best he could, and went on to the relatively easy win. Hawkins is now 9-0, 7 KOs. G falls to 3-5. Now on that card as well, Ben Miracle Odomate, who is from Ghana and now fights out of Silver Spring, Maryland. He was stopped in the first round by Skandor Halili in that bout. I believe it was over 217 of the first round, and easy win for Skandor Halili Odomate, a veteran, and having a tough time right now as a veteran. So Ben Odomate loses on that situation. Now, on Saturday, August 6th, we got a couple bouts all around the country, number of bouts around the country. In Bristol, Pennsylvania, at the Grundy Arena, Emmanuel Transformer Taylor at Edgewood Arsenal, Maryland. He's kind of reset his career a little bit. And he's taking on some guys that, quite frankly, don't belong in the ring with him. I mean, they've had losing records, and he's trying to get himself reset. I've heard there's a big bout in his future, but I can't confirm that. But Taylor gets the win, third round knockout over Carlos Zurdo Aguilera of Chiapas, Mexico. The bout was stopped 107 in the third round. Taylor hit Aguilera with some vicious body shots, and Aguilera could not recover. So Taylor's now 20-4 with 14 KOs. Aguilera falling to 10-18 with 4 KOs. So again, there is talk that a WBO eliminator could be in the future for Emmanuel Taylor. So we'll see what happens if he gets that win, gets that situation, and see how well he goes. Of course, he's fought for a world title. He's lost world title bouts. He lost to Adrian Broner, and fought very well in that bout. But we'll see where he is at this point in his career. Also on that card, Samuel Amoako, also from Ghana, now fighting out of Silver Spring, Maryland. He dropped a 4-round unanimous decision to Samuel Tia, and that's Tsunami Tia of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Tia won by shutout 40-36 across the board. Now, Amoako has been very busy this year. He has fought 8 times in 2016. lost all 8 bouts by unanimous decision, and he also has fought his last loss by KO came in late 2015. Amoako is now 21-13, 15 KOs. Tia is 8-1-1 with 2 KOs. So Amoako, one of those tough guys that you gotta get through to get up to the next level, and he has very little chance of winning at this stage in his career. So you can do well, you just have to look good doing, and apparently Tia did that. Now, the surprise of the weekend took place at the Casino del Sol Resort in Tucson, Arizona. And that's where undefeated light heavyweight Alexander the Great Johnson took on a guy by the name of Igor Mikantsev out of Russia, who now fights out of Los Angeles, California. Now, I told you a story last week, right here on the podcast, that Johnson's trainer, the legendary Darryl Terrible T. Tyson, after Johnson's loss to Artur Beterbiev, was not going to take on any more Russians. Well, he may want to rethink that after this bout, because Johnson battled Mikantsev, who was unbeaten going into it, to an 8-round majority decision draw. Now, Mikantsev did win one decision on judges' cards, 78-74, but the other 2 judges scored the bout even at 76-76. And according to FightNews.com and other reports I've read on this bout, Johnson gave everything he could to Mikantsev, and Mikantsev had a tough time handling it. No question about that. Now, Mikantsev is a Olympic gold medalist in the light heavyweight division, won the Olympic gold medals in London, gold medal in 2012 in London, and that's a big situation for Johnson. I mean, for him to get a draw in that situation, there probably is some sort, I didn't see the bout, of course, but there's probably some people who might say that Johnson may have come away with the victory on that situation. That's a good result for Johnson at this stage. He's now 16-4-1. It's his first draw, 7 KOs. Mikantsev 11-0-1, 7 KOs, and that's a good win. That's a good draw, I should say, for Alexander the Great Johnson, especially on the road, on the West Coast. That's a pretty good situation. So well done for Alexander the Great Johnson. On that card, Baltimore, Maryland welterweight Kevin the Scarecrow Womack Jr., he was stopped in the first round by another Russian boxer, Alexander Besputin. He was stopped at 2:08 of the first round. Womack now 7-12-3, 2 KOs. Besputin 4-0, 4 KOs. And again, Womack has been busy as of late. Not as busy this year as he was in 2015. But he travels, takes bouts on relatively short notice, and sometimes against guys who may end up being elite boxers, he pays for it. And this looks like this one of those situations this past weekend, because he got knocked out first round. And from what I heard, it was a pretty brutal stoppage too. So tough break for Kevin Womack Jr. And the same can be said for Ty Barnett at the Oracle Arena in Oakland, California. Ty Barnett out of D.C. light welterweight. He was stopped in the first round by undefeated Maurice Mighty Mo Hooker of Dallas, Texas. According to FightNews.com, Hooker dropped Barnett with a left hook, followed up with a barrage that earned the stoppage at 2:17. Now, Barnett's now 23-5-1 with 15 KOs, and all 5 bouts that he's lost have all been by knockout, and some of them very viciously. And so you got to wonder where Ty Barnett's career is at this moment. You know, he's had some outside situations that have bugged him. He's changed trainers a number of times. You got to wonder where he is at this point. And that was a tough one. Now, he also, that bout was supposed to be, and I guess it was, for the NABO light welterweight title. Barnett came in overweight. He came in 142. So I don't know if Barnett would have won the bout, whether or not the title would have changed hands. I don't think so, but it's irrelevant now. But you got to wonder where Barnett is at this stage, because he is at a point where he gets up to guys who are at the better levels, and he doesn't seem to do well. With the exception of the bout he got knocked out, of course, in D.C. back in 2013. That guy was not at, Cosme Rivera was not at Barnett's level, and that was a surprise. So that may play into the situation even still. Who knows? But that's the way the weekend was for us on the Beltway. Kind of a weird weekend. We had some successes, had some bouts that didn't go very well for Beltway boxers. So we'll see what happens as we move into this week. And a lot going on this week. We have couple of boxers. Actually, we have one pro boxer fighting this week, and that is going to be Darnell the Unknown Pierce. He's a cruiserweight out of Frederick, Maryland, by way of Texas. He's 4-0, 1 KO. He's been scheduled to be on a couple of bout cards here in the area, but just didn't pan out for whatever reason. He's scheduled to take on Lewis King out of Amsterdam, New York. Record of 3-2, 1 KO. That bout's going to be on Friday, August 12th. At the Turning Stone Resort and Casino in Verona, New York. So we'll see what happens there. One of the results we got to tell you about also. Mac Allison IV. He won in Charlotte, North Carolina this past weekend. He's stopped this guy in the first round. So he's 5-0. All 5 wins by knockout. All 5 wins in the first round. And 4 of those wins coming up against North Carolina talent. He did win a minor belt with this situation, so he won the United States Boxing Union super featherweight title. But again, we don't know. He's fighting guys that can't be found on BoxRec. Not to belay his talent, because obviously he's doing what he's supposed to do with these guys. But again, we don't know how good he is, and we'll hope we get a chance to see how good he is when he's scheduled to fight on a card in November 12th at DuBurns Arena, Shabazz Brothers card. That'll be his first bout in Baltimore. So we'll see what happens there. It'll be at the DuBurns Arena in Baltimore, Maryland. Now, a couple of good amateur cards coming up this weekend. Friday, August the 12th, it'll be the annual Friday Night Fights Inside the Gates, and that'll be at the Berry Farms basketball courts, located on 1230 Sumner Road in Southeast DC. It's a free event. It starts at 6 p.m. It will also celebrate the 20-year anniversary of one of the top summer basketball leagues in DC, the George Goodman League. And Goodman League, run by Miles Rawls. This is an incredible outdoor league. A lot of good people have participated in the basketball league, and the connection that they have made between the basketball and the boxing that's there every year is incredible. So it's a lot of fun. It's a great event. The Berry Farms basketball courts, 1230 Sumner Road Southeast, starting at 6 p.m. It's the Friday Night Fights Inside the Gates. You get there early to find good parking, and it's a lot of fun. Good atmosphere and some good boxing there. Then on Saturday, August the 13th, at the Last Round Boxing Club. This is a relatively new gym in the Beltway area. It's located at 2772 Old Washington Road in Waldorf, Maryland. It's run by Derwin Dean O'Neill. Dean O'Neill, who's a judge and a referee in the Potomac Valley Association. He is having an all-female boxing card, and that'll start at 6 p.m. as well. And a lot of information about tickets you can get by calling 202-568-2452. That's 202-568-2452. And you can get the information about this card. A lot of ladies I've not heard. I've heard Destiny Owens is going to be on this card and a few others. But it's an all-female called Queen of the Ring. And that'll be on Saturday, August the 13th at the Last Round Boxing Club, 2772 Old Washington Road in Waldorf, Maryland, starting at 6 p.m. Now, there's one change in our schedule. On Sunday, August 21st, and they even changed the location of this card. It's now going to be at the Ford Amphitheater in Brooklyn, New York. And this is the card that was featuring Errol Spence taking on Leonard Bundu, and also an all-female bout between Heather Hardy and Shelley Vincent. Now, the bout that was scheduled to be on that card was scheduled to be Kareem Martin taking on David Day Grayton. About that, again, I have a problem with this bout going on because you have two guys, pretty young in their careers. Not only that, they know each other very well because they're former stablemates and the Headbangers. So much so that actually David Grayton's birthday, I believe I think it's today actually as we record this, and Kareem Martin wished him a happy birthday. So there's no hard feeling. This is all about business, as we know. Much like Damon Nicholson taking on Emmanuel Alim. And again, the connection of that bout leads to this bout because Grayton is in the same camp as Aleem, and of course, that's the camp with George Peterson as the trainer, and of course, Damon Nicholson and Kareem Martin are in the headbangers, and David Grayton was once a headbanger as well. So the bout, though, has been moved. It was supposed to be on that card on the 21st. It's now been moved to Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, the Sands Bethlehem Events Casino, the Beltway home away from home. A lot of our guys have fought there over the last few months. And it's going to be on a card there that'll be on Tuesday, August 23rd. Tuesday, August 23rd is when the bout is scheduled to take place. The card is being televised by FS1, Fox Sports 1. I don't know whether or not this bout will make the TV telecast. I'm not sure. But that's where the bout's going to be. Now, it's going to be at the Sands Bethlehem Events Center. David Day Grayton taking on, of course, he's trying to bounce back from that tough loss he had against Brian Perella, taking on Kareem Remo Martin. That'll be on Tuesday, August 23rd on the FS1 telecast from the Sands Bethlehem Events Casino in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. We'll talk more about that next week. Now, we now have the full card for the Friday night, August the 19th card that'll take place at the Crystal City Hilton in Arlington, Virginia. The Crystal City Hilton, Arlington, Virginia. This is the King's Promotions card. And it's complete now. It's all put together. Now, we talked about the main event a while back. That's Michael the Professor Fox, the super lightweight out of Forestville, Maryland. He's 10-0, 2 KOs. He'll take on Sumner Martin out of Martinsville, Virginia. He's 5-2, 3 KOs. And that'll be an bout scheduled for 8 rounds. First time that Fox has gone a scheduled 8-round bout. The co-feature also intact, and this is the bout that people are pretty interested in because you have 2 heavyweights that are young in their careers, but kind of up in age for their careers. And this is the second career for both of these guys. That's, of course, Luther Lightout Smith out of Bowie, Maryland, 5-0, 4 KOs. He'll take on Mike Silverback Ballaghan of Upper Marlboro, Maryland, 6-0, 5 KOs. And both these guys had interesting results in their last outings, so that could be an interesting card, and I don't think that bout is going to go the distance because both these guys can hit. No question about that. And they haven't faced other boxers who can hit as well as they can. So that could be interesting out there. Now, the rest of the card we need to talk about more of, and we can talk about Devar Jingawar Farhadi out of Frederick, Maryland. He's super middleweight, and he's looking to remain undefeated. He takes on Zachariah Kelly of Earlsboro, Oklahoma. That's about scheduled for 6 rounds. Farhadi is 6-0, 5 KOs, coming off back-to-back first-round knockout wins. He's going to get into his first scheduled 6-round bout. And again, Farhadi is one of the better young body punchers you will see in this area. He can really nail some body shots. That's his bread and butter. And Kelly may have a tough time with that. Kelly's last bout, he's 5-15, by the way, 5 KOs. His last bout was on June 11th and bout ended in a no contest. Now, prior to that, Kelly fought at the DC Armory on the Lucian Boutte, James DeGale card, the doubleheader, super middleweight doubleheader there. And he was stopped by Carlos Gongora in the first round on that bout. So Kelly returns to the Beltway area for the second time. Speaking of people coming to the Beltway, this card marks the Beltway debut of DC Super Bantamweight Jordan Short Dog White. Now, a lot of fanfare has been around Jordan over the last year or so. He signed with Al Heyman prior to his first pro bout. He had an outstanding amateur career, and he's trying to build a fan base for himself. He was at a recent event, the National Night Out that we had in this area, and Jordan was he was giving away T-shirts and meeting fans. So he's building a fan base, doing the right thing, building a fan base. He's just 18 years old. In fact, he'll turn 19 a few days after this card. And he's had 2 first-round knockouts fighting in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, Sands Bethlehem Events Casino, and Trenton, New Jersey. Now, he's going to be in a 6-round bout after just 2 pro fights. That's how much he's regarded in this area, in this country, in this area. He'll take on Gabriel Braxton of Red Oak, Georgia. Braxton is 2-16, 1 KO. He'll try to break a 9-bout losing streak. Now, both Braxton's wins have come within the Beltway. His last win was a third-round TKO over Maurice Adams Jr. That was in January of 2015. He's fought in D.C. He's fought at the Convention Center. He's fought at Rosecroft Raceway as well. And he's lost 9 in a row, however. So we'll see what happens with this bout. That's bout scheduled for 6 rounds. Now, in 4-round bouts, Greenbelt Maryland cruiserweight, the Vanilla Gorilla Sam Crossett, he'll be in a 4-round bout against Mike Eastus of Ames, Iowa. Crossett is 3-0, 1 KO. He last fought on May 13th, and he won a 4-round majority decision against Damian Reed. That was on the Dusty Harris and Mike Dallas Jr. card at the D.C. Armory. And quite frankly, Crossett did not look that great in that bout. I think he's got a little bit of a power issue at this stage. That may not be a big problem against Eastus, who's 0-3, and he's been knocked out in all 3 of his bouts, and he fights away from home in Iowa, for the first time in his career. So, we'll see what Crossett can do in this situation, but in his last couple bouts, he's had some issues with power, and he looks strong, big, strong guy, but he had a tough time landing punches in his last bout against Damian Reed, so we'll see what he does here. Now, another bout has 2 guys coming to action after long absences. Marcus Bates out of D.C. He is featherweight, who's 3-0-1, all 3 wins coming by KO. Takes on Daniel Hernandez of Queens, New York. That'll be a 4-round bout. Hernandez is 0-1-1. Now, Bates has not fought since he knocked out Edgardo Marin in October of 2014 at Rosecroft Raceway in Fort Washington, Maryland. Hernandez has not fought since May of 2013. He fought to a draw with Ryan Ramaya in Queens, New York. So that was at the Resorts World Casino there in Queens, New York. Hernandez, as I said, 0-1-1. So you have 2 guys who trying to shake some rust off in what will be a 4-round bout. That could be interesting as well. Owings Mills, Maryland heavyweight Kobe Madison takes on Randy Easton of Sunbury, Pennsylvania. That's in a 4-rounder. Madison 2-0, 1 KO, won a 4-round unanimous decision over Lonnie Cornegay on May 14th in Monium, Maryland. No one knocks out Cornegay. I mean, Cornegay is the new version of Marion Jackhammer Wilson. The difference is Cornegay has not fought nearly the type of competition that Wilson fought. Marion Wilson, for those who don't know, was from Washington, D.C. as well. Had a terrible 1-loss record, but fought some really solid heavyweights over the years and was never knocked out in his career. So Cornegay's kind of like that. He's never been knocked out, but he hasn't fought nearly that type of competition. But he's the second coming of Marion Wilson. Randy Easton is 3-9-2. All 3 of his wins come by knockout. He fought to a 4-round draw in his last bout against Eric Newell on June 28th in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. We're also going to have 2 Beltway middleweights making pro debuts in separate 4-round bouts. And to tell you the truth, I have not seen a lot of these guys. In fact, I've heard of Philip Hooker because he won a ringside championship in 2014. He's out of D.C. He's a middleweight, taking on David Rocksteady Roan of Villa Park, Illinois. He's 0-6-1. And Hooker's out of the Headbangers Gym in Washington, D.C. Patrick Rivera is out of Hillcrest Gym. That's the gym where Jared Hurd is from. And he's out of Edgewood, Maryland. He'll take on Dustin Kaplinger of Akron, Ohio, 2-8-1, 1 KO. Kaplinger's one of his last bouts took place at the ABC Sports Complex in Springfield, Virginia. Now, speaking of Jared Hurd's younger brother, Justin Hurd, was scheduled to be on this card. However, he will not be on the card because of an injury he suffered in training. So that is the card for Friday night, August 19th at the Crystal City Hilton in Arlington, Virginia. We hope to have live coverage for you. I've been trying to work on that. Folks tell me that the Wi-Fi is good, and we should be able to get a good broadcast coming out of this. So we'll try to get a broadcast coming from that bout on Friday, August the 19th. Also, a couple other things to go before we get out of here. Of course, Gary Antoine Russell, he now knows his opponent for the Olympics. And so far, so good for the USA boxers. So Nico Hernandez, as we record this, Nico Hernandez got a big win today. He beat the number 2 ranked lightweight in the world from Russia today. And he didn't knock him. He won by unanimous decision. And so he's now in the quarterfinals of his division. So great to hear about that. Carlos Balderas has won his first bout. So far so good for the U.S. boxers as we record this. And Gary Antoine Russell will be in action on Wednesday, August 10th, around 12:15 or so. Now, the only way you are going to see these boxing events, as of right now, is to get on NBCOlympics.com or get the NBC Sports app for your phone. That's what I have. You get a chance to see all the events going on. But right now, if you've been following the Olympics, you know NBC and the NBC Universal broadcast family, they've been focusing a lot on, of course, gymnastics is a great story there. The swimming is a huge story, and I'm not complaining about it, but you know they're focusing on the very huge stories for the first week, and that again has been the gymnastics team, the women, and now the men, because the men are in good shape to possibly medal as a team as well. Of course, the swimming events with Michael Phelps and Kay Ledecky, who are both from this area, by the way. We're happy to see that. So focusing about that. The basketball, of course, is big, both on the men's and women's side. So they're not focusing on the boxing. Boxing is way down the list. So it has not been on any of the broadcast networks, with exception of Telemundo. Telemundo has been showing it. But other than that, just really hasn't been, it's been online. So you either go to NBCOlympics.com or you get the NBC Sports app, and you'll be able to see all the boxing. They have commentary for, which is good. And it's been actually some very interesting events, not just for the USA, but also other wins as well. So that's the best way you can see Gary Antoine Russell. And again, that's been on, that'll be on Wednesday, August 10th, around 12:15 p.m. And what I love about this situation with Gary Antoine Russell is that he's gotten a lot of great press behind this. There's been articles galore about him all around the world. The Post and the Associated Press have done articles. I don't think the Washington Times has done anything yet, which I'm kind of upset about. But USA Today has done a piece. The Guardian did a piece. Now, the Guardian's piece, I have to say, I posted it on the blog, so you can read that. But that article is written by a guy who probably knows, out of the mainstream media, knows the Russell family better than anybody. You know, with the exception of what I've done and what Juan Marshall has done over the years. But Les Carpenter, who used to write for the Washington Post, and I think he still writes for Yahoo.com. I thought he did. Maybe he doesn't anymore. But Les and I have talked about the Russell family for many years, going back to when Gary Russell Jr. went to the Olympics in 2008. So, you know, we've bounced ideas off each other off and on for a number of years about the Russell family itself. And I think I remember telling him that they thought Antoine may be the best of the best of the family. So I think I told him that years ago. But anyway, make a long story short, Les Carpenter wrote a great article about the family itself. And again, no one in the mainstream media in this area knows the Russell family better than Les Carpenter. That's just a fact right there. So again, Wednesday, August 10th, around 12:15 p.m. Eastern time, you can listen, you can watch the bout on your computer, NBCOlympics.com, or the NBC Sports app. You can catch Gary Antoine Russell's bout there. So looking forward to that as well. So that's one of the things going on. Again, Nico Hernandez with a great performance there as well in the Olympics. So the USA boxers doing pretty well. They only have 6 men, 2 women, but they seem to be doing well so far. So that's good to know. So that'll be it for the Beltway boxing news and notes. I think I had something to talk about, but I just slipped my mind just completely. But, I know what it was. Yeah, I do know what it was. The NABF convention, North American Boxing Federation convention, is in town. We'll be in town from Thursday, August 11th to the 16th of this month. Now, there was scheduled to be a card during that weekend, but it won't happen. It was scheduled to be on the 13th, but it's not going to happen. I don't know how much of this is open to the public. I don't think anything is really open to the public, but I'm going to be down there trying to cover a little bit of the convention. Hopefully get some interviews during the course of that I broadcast right here on the Boxing on Beltway Google app for Android. So looking forward to doing that, talking to many people. I need to check who among our Beltway boxers are actually ranked at this stage by the NABF, North American Boxing Federation. And I'll get that information to you. And we'll hope to have some fun at the NABF convention in Washington, D.C. coming up later on this week. So that'll do it here from the Beltway Boxing News and Notes podcast. And the Boxing on the Beltway Google app for Android brings you the Beltway Boxing News and Notes podcast, which is sponsored by Real-Time Pain Relief. Rubbing on, the pain is gone in real time. From boxers to ballerinas, from shoulder pain to muscle strain and everything in between, Boxing on the Beltway recommends Real-Time Pain Relief, the natural plant-based, safe, fast, and effective ointment. Rub it on, the pain is gone in real time. And once again, if you go to free offer to 90407, you text free offer to 90407 after going to www.freepainoffer.com, you can get a free $10 tube of real-time pain relief. And again, your online order, your first online order must be $10 or more. So, real-time pain relief, rub it on, the pain is gone in real time. Thanks for listening, everybody. We'll be back next week with another News and Notes podcast. Hopefully, we'll get some good information about Gary Antoine Russell and other things going on in the Beltway boxing scene. Thanks for joining us, everybody. I'm Gary Digital Williams, reminding you as always, keep supporting the best boxing in the world, the boxing along the Beltway. Take care.